Hi everyone, welcome to Queen of the Household. My name is Emily, and today I wanted to share with you how I went from hating being a homemaker to really embracing it and loving my role as a manager of my home. So when I was first married, I really struggled with being content taking care of my home, and I worked full-time as a teacher, and so when I would come home, I just really thought of making supper as a burden, and I would save all my chores for the end of the week, and so my house would kind of get messy and pile up until Saturday morning when I would take care of it. And it felt like this burden and like this huge responsibility that I just didn't want, but I had to have it. And so when I became a stay-at-home mom, and that was my official role, like that's all that I did was be a homemaker, I really had to start thinking about how am I going to embrace this? Because I knew that I was going to be doing it at least for a couple more years while my son was still little, and I didn't want to be miserable the whole time I was acting as a homemaker. And so there really were four things that I did that helped me embrace it. So number one, the first thing that I did is I went to God, and I went to him in prayer, and I said, God, I can't do this on my own. I have a terrible attitude right now, and I need you to help me change that. Please direct me into ways that I can start to enjoy being a homemaker. And so I ran across a few different verses that really stuck out to me, and that was, Titus 2:3-5, and I'm paraphrasing here, but the older women are supposed to tell the younger women to be self-controlled and to be self-controlled and to be kind and to love their husbands and love their children and to be busy at home. And so all of a sudden that really had special meaning for me. So I said, you know what? That's what I'm instructed to be right now. I am a younger woman, and I need to show my family love and not complain about my role. I need to be busy at home and not just sit around and watch TV or get on my phone. I need to be taking care of my home. Another verse that stuck out to me was Philippians. Now I can't remember what it is. It's in Philippians, and it says that to be content in whatever state I am. And I realized that the state that I was in right now, it was being a mom and a homemaker and taking care of my home. And so I said, I really need to choose to be content. And then another one was in 1 Corinthians, I believe it's 10:31, and it says that whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. And I knew at that point I wasn't taking care of my home with all of my might. I was just kind of doing the bare minimum and doing it grudgingly. And so I knew that I needed to change. And so when I had those verses in my mind and when I prayed about it to God, that really helped change my perspective. Okay, the second thing that I did was I started learning from other people. So people in my own life who are homemakers, I started getting encouragement from them. And then also there are so many resources online and so many just different people that share their heart about the home. And so two that really stuck out to me at that time, now I know of a bunch, but two at that time were Jen at How Jen Does It. She has a huge YouTube channel. You probably follow her if you follow me. But she talked about just all kinds of tips for cleaning and just managing your home, especially with little kids. And so that really helped me when I discovered her channel. I think I binge watched all of her videos up until that point in like a matter of a week. And then another one, she's actually a friend of mine here on the online world, and it's Whitney at Come Home for Comfort. I discovered her video one day after I had been complaining to my husband about my days here at the home, and he said, well, why don't you just Google how to create a schedule at home and during the day and things. And so I came across Whitney's video where she talked about creating a daily schedule as a stay-at-home wife. And so that really helped me kind of think about, oh, I need to create a schedule and I need to plan out my days. And so I've been following her channel ever since then, and her blog too, and she gives all kinds of useful and helpful encouragement and information about taking care of the home. The third thing that I did is I started thinking about my why. So why am I doing this? Why do I scrub toilets? Why do I take time to plan out a meal for my family? And I never really had sat down and written it out, but I started to think about why I'm doing it. It's because I'm showing love to my family. And then I came across this book just recently, Having a Martha Home the Merry Way by Sarah May. And she has different, she has a 31-day challenge in here, and she just asks you to do different things each day. And one day she says to write out your why. Like, why do you do what you do at home? Why do you clean? Why do you organize? Why do you take care of your home? I just came up with 4 simple things. Number 1, I want to show my family that they're important. Number 2, I want our home to be a safe retreat and a welcoming retreat to my family after they come home from work, or when my son goes to school, or we're just gone on a busy day and we come home. I want it to be a place of just comfort. And then the 3rd reason is it brings glory to God. And then the 4th reason is I want to have a clean and welcoming and comfortable home for guests who come to our home. And then the 4th thing that really helped me embrace homemaking instead of hating it is I started to think of my role as a job. So up until that point, I was like, I'm not getting paid for it, so why put in the effort? You know, why should I care about this? But I started thinking of it as this is the role that I've been placed in, and it really is my job, my responsibility at this season in my life. And so I started thinking about, well, what did I do when I worked full-time as a teacher? Well, number 1, I got dressed and ready every day. And so up until that point, I had just been kind of like sitting around in my workout clothes from the morning until like lunchtime. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should take a shower now and maybe fix my hair or something. And so I started actually getting ready in the morning and just starting out my day as, okay, there's a purpose to my day, and I'm gonna get dressed and make myself look presentable. Even if I didn't go off somewhere, maybe I didn't put my makeup on and do my hair all fancy, just put it in a ponytail, but I got dressed and cleaned up. And then I also started taking breaks. So up until that point, I hadn't really scheduled breaks. And I don't necessarily schedule breaks, but I usually take a mid-morning snack with my son, and we sit down, and sometimes we watch TV. Sometimes we just sit at the table and talk to each other. Sometimes we just go outside, and I'll let him play, and I'll just sit there watching him play. And so I realized that, you know, at work, I was taking breaks, and I needed to do the same thing at home. And then another thing is I started following routines. So just like when I was a teacher, I had routines for when we transitioned from one thing to the next, and I realized that I needed to do that at home as well. And so I've done some videos on my routines in the past. I know I have several blog posts on routines that I can link below for you as well. So anyways, that's how I kind of stopped just hating being a homemaker and really just started embracing it. So I hope that that was an encouragement to you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, then go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you next week. Bye.